It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.
Boxing King Media in association with Boxer. Everyone's gone. Me and Dev are still here. Dev, another magnificent 7, the third one. What an event.
What an event. What an event. Look, not even a question. Yeah, what an event. What was my favourite part? I don't know, probably Liam Davies. Liam Davies, the uppercut from hell against Eric Robles, and we know how good Eric Robles is as well. We've seen that against Lee McGregor. So Liam Davies, to stop him in 2 rounds, it's just such a big statement. And to have that IBO world title, he's good enough to have the other belts as well. It's just, it happens that Naoya Inoue's got hold of all the other belts and looks like he doesn't want to really let them go right now. But I think we've got a world-class super bantamweight in Liam Davies. In 16 fights now, he's won an English title, a British title, a European title. There's been international belts along the way, and now he's got a version of the world title. No defeats. The kid's come from the gutter. We need to get behind him. He's a special fighter.
I agree with you, man. I was just saying to you off camera, I feel like if his name was like Liam Fury or, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I get the feeling sometimes people don't appreciate fighters until they're headlining against another big name.
Well, look, I feel like all of that is going to come. Performances like tonight, performances like last time as well. That's 2 stoppages in a row now he's got. And there was, of course, Jason Cunningham before that he stopped in a round as well. He's putting together momentum here. And when you see him against another fighter that you know, I think his career is going to skyrocket. He's got all of Telford behind him. When you go to the Telford International Centre, that place is packed out. So he's already got his hometown behind him. Now he's just got to get the rest of his country behind him. And tonight, good start.
Definitely. So I hope the fans get behind him and we'll see him in these big fights soon. Down the card, obviously, in fact, we'll start with the main event. Nathan Heeney, was that the right decision? People, I think there's not much debate online. Most people are kind of agreeing with what happened.
I thought he just nicked it. I understand the draw as well. I do think he just did enough, though. I know, like, he was rocked a couple of times and wobbled, but it's not like that was just like happening every round. You still got to win the rounds. Fights aren't won and lost based on how many times you get wobbled. I think Heeney won more rounds than Brad Pauls. That was my feeling when the fight ended, but I get it. Like, scoring's subjective, so you can understand the draw. But ultimately, he goes home with his British title and his WBA Continental. So that's the important thing. If you're in the Nathan Heeney camp and if you're in the Brad Pauls camp, well, his stock has really gone up, hasn't it? Because he's just given the British champion, the unbeaten British champion, the fight of his life.
What is next for Nathan Heeney? I'm assuming he doesn't have to rematch.
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work with that, because he loves that British title, and you would imagine that people will be telling him, well, if you want to keep hold of that British title, you probably need to see that guy again, Brad Pauls. So, no idea. Very interesting to see, but I would imagine the next step will be go and get a good rest, because he'll need it after that fight. That was a tough, grueling fight.
It definitely was. But you know what I like about Nathan? He keeps defying the odds. People again today were saying, Brad's going to beat him. But again, either way, he's not lost.
Let me just say on that, if Nathan Heeney didn't have a win over Denzel Bentley, this fight against Brad Pauls would be considered the step-up fight for Nathan Heeney, because he hadn't boxed at Brad Pauls' level. Brad Pauls has got a better resume heading into them sort of fighting than Nathan Heeney did. So, him now having a draw with him, look, it was I felt like he won, but hey-ho.
Let's move on to the heavyweights. Any surprises in that with the way the Joyce and Ali fight went?
Right, I feel like if Joyce had someone else in front of him, if he was matched, say that was Deontay Wilder in there tonight, Joyce would have probably gone to Vegas for his camp. He would have gone out with Ismail Salas. He wouldn't have come in at 287 pounds or whatever it was. So that led to a more sluggish kind of juggernaut, I think. But ultimately, if you'd asked everyone in the Joyce camp beforehand, in your comeback fight, you're going to get a TKO win, everyone would have said, yes, please. Let's get that one done, and then let's move on. Credit to Cash Ali, because there were a few times actually in the fight where I thought he's done here, because he looked absolutely knackered, but he held on right until the very end, where it just all became too much, and Joyce started landing some big heavy shots. But I think Cash's stock actually goes up, because the last time he was on a stage like this, it was David Price, and he bit him, and he had all sorts of slander around his name. But I think after tonight, you'd probably want to see him in with other guys as well. But the main story from this is the Juggernaut appears to be back, so we'll find out more when he's in against sterner opposition.
Yeah, I think I just spoke to Cash. He was quite downbeat, but I did say to him, like, the main question you had to answer today was that if you've got heart, because people question that, and I know for fighters that's one of the things they take most personally, even more personal than having your chin checked, is people saying you ain't got no bottle.
Yeah, I think he showed it. I know Richard Towers was screaming at him. I thought Richard Towers was going to knock him out at one point in the corner. I thought, oh God, if Joyce don't get him, Richard Towers will get him. But they were imploring him to do more and more and more, and it was getting difficult in there for him. Like, a lesser man probably would have taken a knee at some point, but maybe like the 7th, 8th round. So fair play to him. He hung in there for as long as he physically could.
Yeah, I think fighting Joyce is like a suffocating feeling. It just keeps walking you down. Undercard, anyone stood out for you? Dennis McCann got a really good win. I'm a massive fan of Peace O'Leary, and I told him that in the presser the other day. I felt like he was due a viral knockout, and he's done it.
He's done it. He's very good at knocking people out. Very, very good. It was a hard fight tonight. That Hovhannes Martirosyan, one of those really tough. He looks Eastern European. I know he's from Belgium, but one of those guys where
you just tell that he looks scary and hard.
Scary. And when Pearce O'Leary was landing to the body, and Martirosyan was just going like that, like shrugging it off, and then like doing the "I don't care when you've punched me." That's terrifying. But ultimately, big bang, landed the big bang and got him out of there. Had him over in the first, I think it was the first round as well. So great performance in a hard fight, in the step-up fight, in the toughest fight of his career. TKO win. And I'd imagine you say to me, hey Pearce, would you like to fight Adam Azim? He'd bite your hand off. Would you like to fight Dalton Smith? He would bite your hand off. And I'd imagine the people behind him would have no problem having him in those fights. I think he's a very special fighter.
Definitely so. What's next, Dev? Where's Queensberry going next?
We've got Your Call next Friday. British Bantamweight Championship on the line. Chris Bourke against Ashley Lane. And also Moses Itawa's on that show as well. So if you want to watch the next young heavyweight coming through, future world heavyweight champion, maybe the youngest ever if he can break Mike Tyson's record, Your Call is the place to be. TNT Sports next Friday.
Frank Warren still keeps going. He was here at 5:30 for Ezra Taylor. I've seen him leave at midnight. That man's passion is unreal. 72 years old, and I spoke to him the other day and I asked him what makes him keep doing this at this age, because it's not money. And he basically said he enjoys watching fighters go from rags to riches. And the way he said that, it was nice to see that from Frank.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this the other day, didn't we? And I always see when fighters come in the office, the young fighters with like their dad or something like that, and they get a sit down with Frank, and you just see his eyes light up, and it's a glow that, like, it's kind of unmatched. It's rare that you see that in people, where it's just like his whole face lights up, his attitude, his energy. Like, he's got the energy really of a young man when it comes to this sort of stuff. So fair play to him. Long may it continue, and I'm sure he'll be there next Friday as well. And remember, he's doing all this flying to Riyadh as well, Riyadh and back, etc. It's a great time to be Frank Warren, and it's clearly a very energetic man right now, and rightly so.
Dev, Sahni, appreciate your time. Have a safe drive back down south.
I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you toward your goals.